Hey, what's up, family? How y'all doing today? It's your brother Kevin Brown, your sister Davina here, and today we're talking about God knows where everything is, and you know what? And resting in that truth can change how you wait.
It will definitely change how you wait. So in today's video, we are specifically talking to the woman who feels as though you have to have everything figured out. Sometimes you may feel like you have to be the one doing all the searching. You have to be the one pushing against the doors. You have to be the one researching and doing all this stuff. But it's like, you know what? Is that actually true? Because I know sometimes you may feel like if you don't try harder, then nothing's going to happen. But is that actually where God's calling us? Is that actually how he wants us to respond to his promises?
Yeah, especially, in those seasons where you're waiting for like marriage. Maybe you're looking for some provision. Maybe you're looking to make a decision. Maybe you want some direction or something like that. That pressure really can really turn into stress.
It can if you let it.
Yeah.
It most definitely can if you let it.
Yeah, but we're not meant to carry that. We're not meant to carry stress.
No, that is we honestly believe that's not what God wants for us. And the reason why we're talking about this video today is because something so profound happened just a couple of days ago. And hopefully through us sharing this story of what happened, you will see how God actually wants us to begin to operate and to see him and to see yourself in him. Because I'm telling you, God is way bigger than you have been giving him credit for. And in this story, even in the small details, you will see the enormity of who our God really is.
Yeah.
So anyhow, I put a post in YouTube a couple of days ago because this actually floored me. It really did help me to see how God sees us. He knows us down to the hairs of our head, people. He knows us down to the hairs of our head. He knows every single detail. And it's important for us to remember this. So it was a couple days ago now, like towards the end of last week. And, I listen to a lot of YouTube. I consume a lot of YouTube, right? And so anyhow, I was listening to this one teaching by Andrew Womack. And he was talking about, your healing and how you've already got it. And he went on to tell this particular story about this one lady who he had heard of, that she had come to like a healing meeting or something. And she had this goiter on her neck, like a growth of some description on her neck. And she had gone up for healing and somebody had prayed for her. And then she said that she was miraculously healed by Jesus, right? Because this is who Jesus is. He miraculously heals us. And so she said that I've been miraculously healed. It's absolutely amazing. But the goiter, the lump was still there. So anyhow, another year rolls around. The meeting happens again. This lady comes back and she goes up onto the stage to testify about how this goiter has been miraculously healed. But the thing about it is, the thing's still on her neck. It's still there. It's still visible for all to see. In fact, it probably looks like it's got worse, right? And this was the preacher who was sharing the message that I was listening to earlier the week. He was like, telling all of this. So anyhow, she gets up on the stage and she said, a year ago today, Jesus miraculously healed me of this goiter. And everyone's looking at her like, but the goiter's still on your neck. How can you say that you've been healed, kind of thing? But she's like, you know what? I'm so excited by this thing. Jesus healed me a year ago. And they're like, okay, well, that's nice. However, 2 years go by, right? And then she comes back again to this same meeting. She goes back up on stage again. She's like, gosh, 2 years ago, pretty much to the date, Jesus healed me of this goiter. And everyone's looking at her like, no, you still have an extra head attached to your neck. Like, what are you talking about? But to her, she's like, miraculously healed. And then by year 3, she goes back again, right? And she says, 3 years ago, Jesus miraculously healed me of this goiter. I was so pleased by it, etc., etc. And then everyone started beginning to complain, they were going to the pastor saying, she's making this stuff up. She's lying. She's this, she's that. So anyhow, this lady then just says, you know what, Jesus, to prove to them that I'm not making it up and that you did heal me 3 years ago, please remove this goiter so that they can see that you miraculously healed me. Anyhow, she wakes up the next morning, the goiter's gone. Now, as beautiful as that story is, this story is not actually about the goiter, right? Jesus does miraculously heal, and that's beautiful. But that's not the lesson that God taught me, right, through this whole thing, taught us, should I say. So anyhow, it was Andrew Womack who was sharing the story. And at the end of it, he said, you know what? I heard a preacher say this. I don't actually know where I got this story from. I don't even necessarily know if it's a true story, but either way, it's a good story, right? And so that's how he ended it. He didn't even know where he got the story from. He knew he'd just heard it in passing. Now, when he said that, I didn't even really think about it. I just thought, oh, that's an interesting story. Like, oh, that's an interesting story. It was a quick thought. It just went through my head. Oh, that's an interesting story. Anyhow, later on the same evening, right? Kevin and I, we tend to read like when we go to bed and stuff, like before we work through certain books. That's how we started our relationship, even like just doing book studies together and learning certain things. So about a month or so ago, we were given this book. It's called Ever Increasing Faith by Smith Wigglesworth. We were given this book in church and stuff. And so we were just like, well, we've been reading through it and we've got to chapter 8. And so that same night, after hearing that video, we went to bed and we was on chapter 8, and it's a chapter on righteousness, and we was just like, okay, let's just read like we've been doing through chapters 1 to 7, not thinking anything of it. In that, Kevin read through the first page and then the second page, and then he got to the next page, and then he began to say this. He began to say, I'll just read it, right? He said, one day I was having a meeting in Bury in Lancashire, England. A young woman was present who came from a place called Ramsbottom to be healed of a goiter. Before she came, she said, I am going to be healed of the goiter, mother. As he started reading, right, I was like, hold up. This can't be. I said, hold up. And he continued reading a little bit. And I was like, you're not going to believe this. You are not going to believe this. I said, I heard this story earlier on today, just today. I heard the pastor mention this story, the preacher mention this story. And he said he didn't know where he got it from. He said he didn't know where he heard it. He just heard it. And then the same evening, God showed us exactly where the story came from and who said it and whose story it was. And he led us directly to the book, the chapter, and the paragraph. And in that, I just felt like God was saying, don't you know that I know? I know everything. There's nothing that I don't know. There's nothing hidden to me. I know every word, every verse. I know you down to the hairs on your head. He said Andrew didn't have a clue where the story came from. But I'm here to let you know. I know. And he led us right here. Yeah. And I don't even know. I don't even have words. I was like, what?
You know, the thing about it, God didn't, we didn't have to do any researching. We didn't have to dig for anything. We didn't have to try to prove anything. He simply revealed what he already knew. We didn't know. Davina listened to the video, and then later on that evening, we started reading it, and it was just bam, right there.
It was right there.
It was right there. It was almost like, because she's like, we're going to read tonight in the book. I said, yeah. And we go on to chapter 8, which is righteousness, the same story of the same day she heard the video. I don't know how long that video was, but we heard the story, and here we are reading the story.
The source of the story. He took us right to it.
To this right to it. Right to it. You know, sometimes we like live as though God doesn't see everything. You got to think about it. He sees everything. He doesn't miss nothing. Nothing. We may miss it, but he misses nothing. He don't let us miss anything. He brings it. He brings it. And we sometimes we feel like we need to help him out. We don't need to help out God. He's God.
He's God.
What are we helping him for? We the one calling him for help.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. And I think sometimes we, without even realizing it, we can shortchange ourselves because we don't understand the magnitude of who we are walking around with, who we have access to. And so because of that, we enter into striving when God's actually inviting us into a place of just trusting him, knowing that he knows. Knowing that he knows. Like, understand, there is nothing hidden from God. He has never, ever misplaced anything. Nothing is lost to him. Like, absolutely nothing. And when we allow that to enter into our hearts, not our age, not the circumstances, not our past, not what the circumstances are trying to tell us about our futures. When we remember that we have full access to the God who knows and sees, then why are we allowing ourselves to get frustrated? Why are we allowing ourselves to be put in a place where it's like disappointment or discouraged? He's fully aware. He's fully aware. He knows everything. Everything.
Everything.
It's amazing. And this is like especially powerful and life-changing for especially any lady watching this, and you're waiting for a husband, or you're waiting for an opportunity or a door to open or some form of clarity or something to show up. Like this thinking right here, this matters. Because if you will allow yourself to settle in the truth of knowing who he is, because the same God, the same one, the same said Jesus, who knew exactly where the story was located, is exactly the same God who knows where your promise is. He knows where it is. And so we don't have to enter into panic, worry, or fear. Why? He knows. He knows.
And you know what? And if he know exactly where everything is, then why are we striving?
Why?
What's the purpose of striving when he knows where everything is? We don't just strive. It's for us to stay surrendered, connected, and abiding. That's what we do. We don't strive.
We don't strive. We don't have to strive. There is strength in knowing. There is strength in knowing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's strength in knowing. Yeah, so sometimes it may feel as though resting in God means that you don't have to do anything. And that's not what we're saying here. Trusting is a choice. And it's resting in knowing that he's already doing what only he can do. You can't push him to do something. He's already made up his mind to do good by you. So therefore it's like, trust him. Trust that he's a good father. Trust that he knows where you are. Trust that nothing is hidden to him, that nothing is lost, that everything arrives right on time. He's an on-time God. We say it all the time. And so therefore he's inviting us into a place of rest from us knowing and trusting. From us knowing and trusting. So this is us just choosing to believe God sees what we can't see yet. That's all. So you don't have to search for what God already knows, because he knows how to reveal it to you. Just like he knew how to reveal where the story was. We weren't even looking for the story, people, and he led us to it. How deep is that? That's how much he wants us to have what he wants us to have. That even sometimes when we're not even asking, he answers.
Yeah. Just like how he led us to each other.
Yeah.
The same thing. I wasn't looking for her and she wasn't looking for me. But we landed together.
We landed together. Jesus was the magnet.
Yeah.
He was the magnet. He's the one that drew us together.
Yeah.
And we weren't looking for each other. We were looking for him.
And that's it. Yep. Yep.
So basically, if you're feeling pressure to make something happen, today may actually be your invitation to enter into his rest.
Yeah, and to trust that, God knows where everything is, including that thing you've been waiting on.
Including that thing.
That thing you've been praying for.
Mm-hmm.
You know exactly where it is.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you something. Family. Where might God be inviting you to rest instead of striving right now? Where?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
That's a good question. And if you want to tackle questions like that, but sometimes you may not know how to tackle them on your own, that's why we've created the Wednesday Circle. Because within the Wednesday Circle, which is our private community, we actually go in and ask these questions. We're honest with ourselves. We're transparent. We're like, Lord, help us to see what you see. That's one of the things that you always say, isn't it? Lord, help me to see what you see.
Help me to see how you see. Lord.
Help me to see how you see. Because within that community, we're not shying away from these questions. We're not shying away from the fact that things haven't been working according to how we thought they would work. We raise these questions. We're honest, we're transparent, and we allow the Holy Spirit to speak to us and to show us what he wants to show us. So if you are navigating a season where things feel uncertain, where you feel like you've been striving, where you've been trying to make things happen in your own strength, we invite you to join the Wednesday Circle.
Yeah. And you know what? If it ain't for you, it ain't for you. It's all good.
It's all good. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we pray that this video blessed you as much as it blessed us. I mean, I tell you, when God showed me the weight of that, like, there are billions of books and there are millions of videos, yet he connected the two with zero effort of our own.
Yeah.
How much more can he do with your life when you choose to just trust him?
Yeah. So that's it for today. We thank you all so much for watching, and we see you on the next video.
On the next video.
Peace.
Peace.
Love you guys.